Hello and welcome back to the Live Reality Game Podcast. My name is Steven Stewart, and I'm here today to talk about episodes 3 and 4 of the Mole Ohio. Our content runneth over. We got double episodes for what ended up being a double elimination. And here joining us, we have two players, both from Philly, both know exactly what's in Cincinnati, Chili as well, among many other things. Can you please go ahead and introduce yourself, starting with Brianne?
Hey, I'm Brianne. This was my second mole game, and unfortunately, I was not the mole.
Hi, I'm Danny. This was my first live mole game. I did play online before as the mole, but this time I was not.
So what an episode. I think the most exciting thing going into this episode is there seems like, at least from the comments on the YouTube page, there are strong thoughts about the two of you being the mole, and there's strong thoughts in game as well about the two of you being the mole. So if you have to go out, was this the reaction you wanted?
Definitely. I mean, I was actually pretty surprised by how shocked the reaction was when we got eliminated. I expected a couple of gasps, but there is a lot of cursing on my end and from the cast. There was a lot of screaming. And honestly, like, what else could you want as a player?
Yeah, I honestly enjoyed it. It was a little glorious going out that way. I'll take it.
I mean, I rewatched several times. Aaron with an ease reaction, just like, what? And just like, oh man, a lot of minds were blown in that round. So let's get into the episode itself. Brianne, you said this is your second mole game. Can you talk about your mole experience prior to the Mole Ohio?
Yeah, so I was glad I had one game under my belt because I made like the biggest rookie mistakes in my first one. So it got me a little more prepared for this one, which I guess made people suspect that I was the mole because I was kind of keeping my mouth shut a lot more. I was like a blabbermouth last time. And like, that's kind of how I live life. So yeah, I was trying to keep my mouth shut a bit more, and that was suspicious, but it helped me enough.
Danny, you mentioned you played an online mole game before playing the Mole Ohio, and you were the mole. So what did you learn from that experience, and what were you taking into this game?
Yeah, so basically my mole experience goes from being a player, not even knowing the mole format and just going in blind. And then after that, understanding the format, becoming the mole, and then playing live here. And I'm also on Subversion Live's prod team as a mole selector. So I'm on like the small team that helps choose the mole for their game. So kind of everywhere. I'm on prod, I've been a player, I've been the mole. So really understanding, I guess, what a mole should entail. It has to be kind of the middle ground, kind of like what Brianne said, of like keeping cards close to your chest, but not being too secretive, and then also being selfish, but not being too selfish. So really trying to keep the balance is what I went in trying to do. So I was willing to sabotage if it meant providing myself safety, but I wasn't willing to do anything blind sabotage, like, I don't know, waste money for no reason.
So you arrive at the game. Both of you, I think, Brianne, I believe you arrived earlier. You're there when I get there, and I'm one of the earlier ones. Danny, I think you kind of come to our ends. You have the glass of wine shoved into your hand, so when you go take your photo immediately. Any initial impressions of the cast at that time for either of you?
Yeah, I'll go. So yeah, I feel like I was like middle of the pack, where like everyone was in the kitchen the whole time, and like, yeah, the game started immediately, like 1 foot in the door. Prior to the game, Tim messaged me because I was driving and there was a possibility of like, oh, there's another player from Philly. Would you mind if I offer, if they want to ride? I said, yeah, absolutely. The game was starting there for me too, because based on like that answer, so she said no, which is fine. But I'm like, all right. I think if you were the mole, you wouldn't want to get in the car with like 8 hours with someone before the game starts. So I kind of like I don't know, had that in the back of my mind the whole time.
Yeah, I had the opposite reaction, which it's funny that that's like the first piece of game intel I got was that somebody else from Philly will be there and they're offering you a ride. I'm like, okay, so whoever that is not the mole, because then why would they offer me a ride? And then I get into the game and it's just completely like down the drain. And everything I thought before the game, any meta that I really like came in and being like, oh, it's got to be a woman. Oh, it can't be the Philly person. Like all went down the drain. It didn't matter. I was in it and I was ready and I was willing to believe that anybody could be the mole at that point.
So that first episode, let's talk radios. Danny, you're in the group with who was in your radio group? Because I'm missing half of them. Lachey, Emily, you, and just those three?
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything about that initial radio challenge stand out to you?
Oh yeah, I mean, learning that I was in a group with two other women that were also 25 was very much like, okay, I see what the mole is doing, grouping like alike people with each other.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really the only piece of mole information I was given in the game of like direct mole strategy from the mole, as long as like what we were told of like, oh, the mole did this. So yeah, very interesting to me going in, but honestly, I saw that all the groups were everybody was kind of grouped similarly. Like 3 guys were doing the puzzle, and then I don't know. So, and then like likely ages were in this group. So it was interesting. Just from the get-go, it was very hard to separate myself from certain groups because I was getting paired with similar people the whole time. So it was interesting.
Real fast, Luke says his 2 favorite people are here, and then me as well. So he says hi to you. Brianna, I still don't know how our group was put together, but it's you, me, and Aaron with an E, and we have a very interesting time with the radio. Anything stand out to you about that?
Yeah, I mean, based on Danny's thing, maybe 2 professors and then just the oddball that didn't know what to do with. Yeah, no, I was excited to be paired with you guys because I don't know, I wanted to see if I could work with you. Aaron was the one who started like, hey, let's have this plan. And I'm like, okay, I'll implement it. And you were on board. It was like, we were behind the 8 ball the whole time. We were the last ones with the walkie-talkie. We didn't even know what was going on. Then we were like throwing a wrench in the cog and everything. So I don't know. I had a lot of fun pissing people off. I don't even think they realized how much they should have been mad at us, to be honest.
So I knew. An immediately red flag with this. I was like, absolutely not. How do they not know how to work a walkie-talkie?
And because we were the farthest away, the farthest car, so we were like the last ones in. I think I just remember like cracking up, just walking into the house, just expecting you guys to be so pissed.
So speaking of walkie-talkie madness, our next challenge is more walkie-talkie fun, and both of you end up on the same group with each other. And what goes wrong here?
So, I mean, I'm glad there's video footage. I really did not intend to switch the last 2. I think I just went right hand, left hand, and I just did something wrong. So yeah, I mean, I was dead set that was the only one that was going to be right. I thought the other 2 were going to be wrong. Like we're only going to get one right, and then getting none was frustrating.
Yeah, I fully did not see any red flags with our group in the challenge at all. I was very much like, everybody else doesn't know what they're doing, but our team, we're set. And then when the aftermath came of, everybody is wrong, we got no money, and Brienne and Aaron immediately to blame Aaron and his team for the loss. That immediate red flag, which we'll get into more of, like me suspecting Brienne and Brienne suspecting me by the time we get to our round. that was like my first like, oh, something's going on with Brienne here. Like, what? Why did she immediately jump the gun on blaming somebody else? And yeah, I think in that moment I was kind of looked at as like, okay, Danny, what do you think? Which maybe put some red flags in other people's minds, because I was kind of just like, I don't know, y'all figure it out. Like, I really don't know what happened. So how about you guys figure it out and I'll sit over here.
So after those first challenges, we kind of have the rest of the evening to eat pizza, consider these tubes we got, as well as memorize or write down this 48-page dossier. Can you kind of talk, Brienne, can you talk me through what you did that evening and who you spoke to?
I feel like I barely spoke to anybody. I can't remember because like it was just so much, and they're like, well, you won't have it by morning. And I barely remember talking to people. I was definitely writing a lot down. I kept on like thinking how I could group things together, like, you know, the ages or the heights or the shoe size and stuff like that. We all know that the tests were a lot harder and the groupings didn't help us at all. So yeah, like it was tough. I would have liked to really talk a lot more, but you had to get the information in your journal or you were going to be screwed. So
yeah.
Dan, what about you?
Yeah, kind of similar to Brienne. I didn't do a lot of strategizing, and I'm not mad about that. I think going into another mole game, I would never put myself in an alliance intentionally or give correct information to an alliance. That is not the way I would play a mole game. I don't see the benefit of sharing quiz information with somebody else, because at the end of the day, Josh is correct in that one person wins. So why would you tell somebody like you're suspect that you've been going on and on 2 rounds in a row? But yeah, so I didn't really talk to anybody and kind of actively didn't really want to get other people's opinions or thoughts in my mind right before the first quiz. And then as for my tube, I tucked it into my bag all nice, being like, nobody's going to steal this. Put it in my little bag, fell asleep, forgot about it the next day.
I think I slept with it in my pocket, to be honest. And my journal was under my pillow because, like
you didn't trust me and Luke? What?
It might be because of my first mole experience. It was like people would look in people's journals. Like it was, so I'm like, gotta be careful.
Yeah.
I mean, minor spoiler, Josh has left his journal around a lot of places this game. And I think everyone took a look at Josh's journal at some point in the game. Because Danny, so I remember like you and I spent, I think, most evenings studying by each other at that dining table.
Yeah.
And I wrote down like, I feel like I had a good conversation with you towards the end of the night. And then Brienne, you and I are in the sauna of the house in the attic with Luke, and I felt we had a good conversation the evening, the 3 of us, as we're trying to go to sleep too.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was funny though, because you and I, Steven, were kind of similar, like keeping our mouth shut a little bit. Luke was just going on and on and on, and like I appreciated it, and I'm like yeah, I appreciate it a lot.
So the next day, we got to talk a little bit more about the tubes. Danny, intentional, not intentional, what's going on there?
I've been telling, even Tim asked me this, like, was it intentional? It was kind of somewhere in between. And that night when I put it away, I was like, oh, could they wake us up the next morning and be like, give me your tube right now? Like, and I wouldn't be able to do that. Sure. But by the time we sat down, I kind of fully forgot about the tube. And so when it was time to give our tubes up, I was kind of like, oh, like, I don't have mine. Can I go grab it? And that's when I realized I made a fatal error, but it ended up being not that bad. In my heart, I was like, oh no, I'm gonna get like -1 on the quiz or something. Like, I was very nervous. It ended up not being too terrible.
Yeah, but that nonchalant attitude was so suspicious.
Yeah, I think that moment put you on everyone's radars, and it's like, oh, what's Danny up to? It was surprising. I'll say that much.
Yeah, I kind of felt bad. I was like, oh no, because I don't know. I am very I kind of wanted to open the tube. Like if Josh did it right in front of everyone and like 2 more people did it, I probably would have did it too. Just because I'm like, well, I want some of the fun. But when he was struggling with it, I was like, I don't know. This seems like and then Luke lost his. So I was like, okay, what's going on?
Speaking of coalitions, I think one of the big things that comes out of the first episode is we see the emergence of the Sus Squad. How aware were you of that? Luke, Aaron, and Josh working together, Brienne?
We were up in the upstairs bedroom talking. I forget. I think you were there, Steven, Emily. We were just talking and like not creating any Sus Squad type of situation. And so I had no idea that they were talking like that. I had not a clue.
I would say I was very aware of Josh and Aaron being very close. I had no idea that Luke was involved, but I think a lot of people saw how close Josh and Aaron were, like from the get-go. But yeah, I had no idea there was like a larger alliance than that.
So we have our first quiz. I think all of us are kind of shocked by how the quiz is composed, and we have Riley as our first executed player. This leads into the second episode where we begin with a mini golf / trivia challenge. Brienne, as the team's best golfer, talk about what was going on behind the scenes that we didn't see there.
Behind the scenes.
Or any elaboration you have on what you and Luke were up to there.
I mean, yeah, we were definitely just like, Josh is definitely not the mole. Josh wants to do everything. Just like, and like, once I learned that Josh like said that he got eagles or whatever in golf all the time, I'm like, all right, never mind. I'm getting this spot right now. I mean, I think, yeah, I don't know what else was behind the scenes. Like we only knew the categories of the questions. We didn't know anything like, we wanted to put pressure on Aaron. I think the show captured a lot of it. Tim did a great job editing because we kind of screwed up the whole strokes thing the whole time. I thought we were getting 2 each time. But no, it was still awesome.
Yeah, I think there I remember on our end we heard like some shouting back and forth in terms of what was going on with the stroke count. It's like, all right, is it 1 additional stroke for each, 1 stroke overall? I still don't know to this day, but it worked. You guys got like 3 or 4 holes. And
I was jealous you guys were in the shade because I was like melting in the sun. And I already had a really bad sunburn from the day before.
Please note in episode 3, I beeline to the shade by the courthouse, and I stand the shade while making the shade and Josh to the sun. Dude, like, got my hat.
Watching that bath, the amount of running they did was ridiculous.
Danny, you get the food trivia question. And now I'd say there's a good reason for this, given your profession as a food journalist. But what goes on here?
I was fairly confident going into that question. But the way it was set up, I understand why people were suspicious of me. Because, of course, the food question would be hyper-local, so I would have an excuse to not know it. I understand why people then. I think from that moment, a lot of people started to have alarms about me in the game. But I just didn't know it. I was thrown off because I had like a list of spices plus allspice and allspice included. I was just like really confused by the question. So yeah, justice for me because I feel like I semi-answered that correctly. But there was no shot. I should have looked up Cincinnati/Ohio food before, but it is what it is.
At what point are you aware that everyone is kind of looking at you as a mole suspect?
It's hard. I think probably by the start of round 3, just by the way people were talking to me or lack of. Once you start not getting a lot of information, it starts like you start to realize, oh, there's people that are suspicious of me. They don't want to talk to me because they don't want to have their idea be, get skewed one way or the other. Yeah, which is a dangerous place to be in. So I'm not surprised that I left kind of as early as I did, because it's very hard for somebody that's a suspect so early on to kind of get information from people
Mhm.
and kind of, whoa.
I don't know what you did to cause that. Interesting.
But yeah, that.
Brianna, at what point were you suspicious of Danny? Like, was it after this challenge, or was that something that kind of emerged later on?
I was suspicious after the chain, after we were chained together. And it wasn't actually as much that, taking the Joker. It was Danny goes, I'm going next no matter what. And I was just like, oh God, like, okay. And that was kind of what was like the trigger for me then.
So, Danny, anything else stand out to you about other people in this challenge? Because I feel like Brienne did a lot of setup, but you get to see everyone's answer or maybe miss their questions.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that this challenge made me more suspicious of Brienne, if anything. I don't think that I really put into play like a lot of people's answers, because it was just like very niche trivia. So like, how can I judge somebody not knowing a question about bug anatomy when they didn't pick the category for themselves anyway? So it's just like hard to really.
You mean a PhD in psychology doesn't mean you're an expert on mushrooms? What is
right?
that?
Like it's just like I can't really judge the way like somebody didn't answer their question, but I can judge Brienne and Luke for choosing the categories for each person. So that was really the only information I had, I guess, going into the quiz, I guess.
Yeah. So, anything about lunch before we get to the chain challenge? Because we go to the Mexican restaurant, it's a very nice lunch.
Oh, it was really nice. I thought it was ridiculous that people were taking notes on what people were eating. I was just like, what is going on? I did not take it that serious. I just saw like Joe going around and like writing people's food down. I was just like, there's just too much going on.
Yeah, I think I was making myself look suspicious there, because I happened to be like on the other end, like talking to Tim and Rachel and John and Riley. Those are all the people I talked to during lunch, which was like really dumb or really smart. I don't know.
So after lunch, we have the chain challenge. We're all chained somehow to this chain, and every 2 minutes, someone, if we allow them, will get loose, and something will happen, and we can potentially let 6 people loose to win money at the pot each. What stood out? So, Danny, you said you were going to get out. You're going to break your chain no matter what.
Yeah, I just saw where things were going. Like, I volunteered. I didn't really get a time to shine in the challenge yet. I was told I'd be going where, like, second or third or whenever I went. It must have been.
Let's check.
Third? You went fourth.
Fourth. Yeah, because I stopped it, right?
Yeah. We say the behind the scenes thing that we were confused with how many turns were actually left.
Yeah, that was the thing that happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just saw how things were like, people were starting to change their mind on the order and being like, oh, maybe this person should go instead. And I just had to place my foot down and be like, I am going. Like, I just need to make it so clear. I knew this challenge had some sort of, if it's behind a door, you know there's some sort of advantage behind it. So I was going no matter what. I did not care about the ethics or if someone really
that's a good little thing
to like go for some reason. Sorry, it was my time, so I do not regret that decision. At the end of the day, I got my Joker and I happily skipped to the living room.
And Brienne, you have a very big, I feel like you kind of take this is where I really see you step in and take a stronger leadership role. Once the rest of us here, no one else is going, you have 0 turns less. After only 4 people have gone, we're like, what happened? You're like, this is what we have to do when we get out of here now. We talk to them.
I know, that really turned into like a full-blown interrogation. It was a little harsh. That was my bad. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just looked at it as like, hey, we're in we're on two different sides of the fence here. So guys, let's all get together and, you know, grill them. I don't know.
Anything stand out to you or surprise you about the outcome of this challenge, Brian?
No. I mean, it was like before we went and talked to the guys, like once we figured out like what was the math, we knew that it was Josh and Danny. So it really wasn't surprising. Yeah.
I guess for me at the time, it was more that Emily and Dan and Aaron didn't take the jokers. I was so surprised there were people who just kind of said, nope, take the neutral and run. So.
Yeah. So yeah, it could have been done in 2 turns, right?
Yeah, or 2 or 3 turns, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
So Noah's eliminated. And this brings us to the first of our 2 episodes, episode 3. Danny, how are you feeling coming into this 3rd round?
Yeah, this is when I start feeling like people are thinking it's me. Because I think actually the exact moment was when we started getting interrogated about the jokers and people are screaming at Josh, but not screaming at me. It was more like, Josh, how could you? Josh, why would you do that? Josh, you did it, like you sabotaged again. But nobody's directing the like anger towards me. So that was like, okay, this is interesting. So going into that round, I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to do what I can to keep this up. But I'm definitely like I mentioned before, I'm not a saboteur to not get anything out of it. So there was nothing really in round 3 that was worth me sabotaging where I would get some sort of bonus or prize, at least for me. So I didn't in the challenges, but yeah, I definitely felt like I needed to gain at least a couple of people's trust so I can get a little bit of information, but try not to give anything in return.
Brian, how are you feeling coming this round? And I think something, if you could also talk about, you've been finding some postcards to this point at this point of the game too.
And I knew you saw I got that postcard too. I don't know why I didn't. I don't know why I didn't think about that.
I didn't know you saw me because
you side-eyed it. You side-eyed it.
Yeah, and I was like, someone's gonna grab this eventually, and like I see, but I'm like, I don't know. You see this? I'm like, I'm not gonna confront her, ask her what did you find. I'll see I'll see what happens.
All right, yeah. So I didn't tell anybody about it because I thought it was gonna like come. I thought there was gonna be like a hint in like one of the next challenges or something like. And I'm like, oh, I'll be the only one that knows about this, and then maybe I'll tell people. I was really like, I was kind of hiding it, but I was doing it in plain sight. Like I wanted someone to actually like just see me doing it and then ask. So then like I'm not actually like, it was kind of what Danny said. Like I'm not looking to be the initiator of an alliance. I want someone to initiate it with me and then go from there. So I probably could have been a little more obvious with it, but whatever.
Yeah, so you find 3 postcards that I hid around the house. What was your takeaways from those so far?
I mean, I thought it was fun. I'm like, oh, this is a fun part of the game. Yeah, I was fixated on it. I really thought something was going to come up, so it definitely did throw me. So good work there.
Beyond the postcards, how are you feeling walking to the 3rd round? Are you feeling like people are suspecting you? Are you like, I need to do more to be suspected?
I feel like people were suspecting me, and it was really just like me being myself. So I'm like, all right, I don't have to do much different than just like react as I would naturally. So I really didn't mind it. Like I had Aaron told me straight to my face twice that he thought I was the mole. Josh was like right there with them. Like one time I was like, okay. 2 times I was like, oh, interesting. So I'm like, he can't be the only one who thinks that. So yeah.
So we're asked to pick the most unlimber people, of which we end up with me, Joe, and Aaron. And we end up picking teams. And so, Danny, you end up on a team with Joe and Luke. Can you talk to me about your experience making some poses in the middle of random places to form letters?
Yeah, this was really my first like challenge interaction with either of them. So I was very intrigued, but I think that we did an okay job for what the challenge was. It was difficult in nature of trying to get letters made by the human body and trying to get words that were long enough for points. But yeah, I don't know. We all saw the challenge. But I thought that me and Luke really did the heavy lifting in that challenge. We never switched off the camera. It was me and Luke doing all of the letters. And Joe, love you, Joe, struggled doing the panoramic pictures. It took maybe 15 tries for the words that we did.
Joe's defense, and Brianna confirmed, I don't think anyone had any idea how to take a panoramic photo before this challenge.
Listen, maybe it's my Gen Z.
I think our team did. I think I didn't realize that the other teams didn't know how to.
Yeah. So I was just very intrigued by the way. There was no prior knowledge of taking a panoramic photo. So yeah, obviously I had red flags going off, but again, like I said before, I had red flags going off about everyone. So like one little thing of not knowing how to do something in the challenge is going to be like, oh, okay, you're on the top of my list.
I'm curious. So what red flags did you have about Joe and Luke at this point in time?
Sorry, I missed it.
What red flags did you have on Joe and Luke?
Joe, I don't know, just like his nature, I was like, okay, that's how I would play if I was the mole. It was very much like he was very poised, and I always heard him talking to somebody about his suspect of like, oh, like, did you see what like this person did? Oh, did you see what this person did? That's so suspicious. And I'm just like, it was just a different person every time. So that was like very like, okay, he's causing the chaos. Interesting. And then he didn't know how to do the challenge. So I was like, okay, then that's interesting too. Luke, I mean, it wasn't really anything he did in the game. It was more like you have printed shirts for every day in the game, Luke.
I'm being here.
But that was really the only thing. Like in the challenge, like he really gave it his all. Like in every other challenge, he was a team player, but he had a shirt for every time. So it was, yeah, that's really the only two
Was
things.
it not a red flag when Luke takes you to the wrong place?
No. No, it wasn't. I don't know why. It just wasn't. It just seems like when we looked it up, like it really made sense if you were there. Of like, okay, yeah, like there are two places that are very close to each other with very similar names. That is an honest mistake. I was not very thrown off by that, especially because Luke immediately told me and Joe, like, please use this to your advantage. Please tell people I messed it up. Please say that I'm suspicious. I need this. And so I was like, yeah, Luke, whatever you say, you're suspicious. So, yeah.
And so you end up doing a $15 word and a $5 word. So general and petal. How'd you choose the longer and shorter? Was it just like time or what was easy to do? Or
yeah, we kind of just mapped out what letters we thought we could make with our bodies. That was really the extent of it. There wasn't really a lot of like strategy. It was more like, okay, what letters were easier? Like, yeah, we can make a G. We can't really make, I don't know what the other two words were, but it was just the matter of if we thought that the letters themselves were easier to make, then we were going to do that. And it didn't matter if it was the 5 or the 15.
Brianne, you're on the large team. You get Aaron, and Emily, and you're going to be the sun a while in this challenge, for better or worse. Talk to me what was going on here that maybe we didn't get a chance to see in the episode, or what was your thoughts about your team members and their performance?
I mean, I feel like I didn't realize it at the time, but I think we were being like way too perfectionist and not even doing that great. Like that at least for me, that kind of like got me off of the game because I just wanted to like get these words spelled out. But it's true. I mean, we never even attempted a $15 one. The first one was whiskey, and personally, does anyone know how to make an S? Like, I don't. How would you make an S? I don't even know how to do it. Is that?
I don't know.
So, like, to me, like W, I'm like that would look like a Y. A S, I have no idea how to do.
But I think you're the only team because you have 4 people. You can use 2 people per letter if you want, right? Versus making Josh stand up and do a B and struggle.
Yeah. No, I feel like we thought that we were doing so well at it, but like looking back, I think everyone else did better than us. Like, and we had more people.
So when it comes to looking at the pictures people submit, Danny, the picture your team submits for general had all of us going, what the heck is this, right? Because the picture is just kind of like, has like the weird issue with the panorama camera where it's just like, there's like splinters of body parts everywhere. We're just like, is this, we're like, this surely is a sabotage. This can't be the best they did.
It was the best we did. It gets to a point when you're so into a challenge or you're so like deluded by what you're doing. When it gets to the 10th time, it is the best one you've done, but you don't realize in the moment, like it's actually still bad. It's just the best one you've done so far. So like we know the word. We were just trying to do the word, and in that moment, we're like, "Yeah, that's it. Like, how are they not going to get this? This is great." Yeah, so it just ended up being just us being in our delusion.
Joe confirming it's the best thing. Also, I don't know if I brought up earlier. Joe mentioned that he thought he had to take the photo because he was the team captain, so he thought that was the role he had to do.
Yeah, that makes sense. Maybe we also thought that. I don't fully remember. We were kind of in heat stroke doing those in the sun, but
yeah. Danny, anything stand out to you about how other people are trying to guess the words you're seeing in these photos?
I remember us listening to the other teams doing our photos. Like, I guess we were the first team, I think, that our photos got evaluated, and we could kind of hear what you guys were saying. And me, Joe, and Luke are just looking at each other like, how are they not getting this? Like, it's so good. What do you mean? I was just so confused. Like, so yeah. But then going into the challenge as somebody, I guess, reading the human letters came a little bit more sense as to why they're so confused, because honestly, like, it was just a hard challenge. Like, it was hard to read people making their bodies in the shape of letters. That's the end of it.
Now, Brianne, I'm looking at my notes for when we were looking at Danny's photo, and I have 3 things: bad photo, Danny cut off, and Brianne lead. So I think I remember you took the lead again in this part of the challenge for us.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'll give my thoughts real quick. The F was goofy. The U, I don't think like it was a panorama issue. There was
the word was funeral, by the way, not general. It was, we guessed general. The word was funeral.
Yeah, and I mean, Danny, your A situation, none of us like that. Like, like, what is she doing? I get what you're trying to do, but like everyone reacted to the A. I mean, I am definitely a loud person. I play like all like the like Wordle games and stuff like that. I'm just competitive with stuff like that. But I will say, I mean, other folks said like the ERAL before I got to that. So I was just kind of running with what others came up with.
So all in all, we get, I think, $45. We get 30 from my group. We get 10 from Brianne, your group, and we get 5, Danny, from your group. And this is the last money-making challenge because we're about to go into not really a money challenge, but an interesting twist. We have our own matchmaker. We have Matt from the previous season come and tell us who our soulmates are in this cast. And I'm not gonna like reiterate, but we see the pairings, right? So we get the Aaron and Aaron together. We get Josh and Emily, which is a very interesting mix. Lachey and I are paired together. Joe and Luke are perhaps not fated soulmates, but they're going to be together because Riley and Noah are out. And Brienne and Danny, you are together. Brienne, what was your reaction when you heard that you and Danny were, like, because you don't know about the twist yet, but when you just hear that you and Danny are going to dinner together?
I mean, I was happy about it because I thought it was going to be an opportunity to like force us to talk because we didn't really talk too much. So kind of having that opportunity, I was like, yeah, why not? If I suspect her, it'd be great to have her close.
Danny, what about you?
I was not surprised. I feel like generally I gravitate towards the Philly folk. So I feel like when it was me and Brienne paired together, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. I was intrigued because, like Brienne said, we really did not talk at all. Like it was like we were very much in our own on the opposite ends of the game, I think. So I was intrigued. I was like, okay, I'm gonna get a little info out of Brienne. Like, let's see what Brienne's thinking. Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Tim here is representing Philly as well in the chat. So we don't see a lot about the dinner in the TV because there's a lot of music in the background. It's hard to listen in. Danny, you come to our table at some point. So Danny, can you talk about dinner from your experience perspective, and then we'll hear from Brienne's perspective of how this dinner goes?
Okay. Yeah. So me and Brienne start off dinner pretty good. Like we're giving each other a little bit of information, like, oh, who do you suspect? Who you suspect? Like, how do you feel about Josh and Emily? Because they're kind of next to us. Oh, how do you feel about Luke and Joe? Nothing too crazy, but just like little tidbits to each other. And then I don't know what happened. We just stopped strategizing, like talking at all. Like Brienne started talking to Prod about women's sports. I was sitting here and I was like, you know what? I'm not talking to anyone. Let me just make myself productive. Let me go to the other table and have conversation. So I went to Steven's table with Lachey, and who else was at your table?
Aaron and Aaron.
Being like, these are Brienne's doing over there. She's fully ignoring me. Like, what's going on? And they're like, yeah, what the hell? So, yeah, it was very funny. I learned later on that people seeing me leave the table was suspicious, whereas I thought me leaving the table was helping me. I was like, guys, like, please talk to me. Like, I want somebody to talk to. I don't trust Brienne right now. She's like fully ignoring me. But they saw it the other way of like, oh, why the fuck is Danny leaving the table? That is very suspicious.
For me, it was fascinating because, you know, Lachey and I, we have a lot of life talk. We don't really do game talk at this point. But like when you come over, it's like, it's a lot of gossip. I'm just like eating up like, oh my gosh, what is happening behind the scenes that I'm missing here? And like, I'm hearing Brienne being talked so much. I'm like, oh my gosh, I think people are suspecting Brienne. I don't think I'm suspecting Brienne. Am I missing something? Or is this people just trying to like put a false suspect in front of me so I fall for it? It was like really intriguing. I was like, oh man, I need to talk to Brienne at some point.
Too bad we ran out of time.
We ran out of time. So Brienne, well, how was dinner from your perspective?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're both playing a game of chicken, and we wanted I wanted her to talk more, she wanted me to talk more, and we just played that game of chicken and no one did. So I wasn't gonna be the one to like leave the table, but I get it. Like, my feelings aren't hurt or anything. It makes total sense. But like, I was like staying planted. I'm like, well, I didn't walk away, you know.
So we wrap up dinner. We head back, and we learn that there is one more thing we should know. Our fates are now tied to our partners. Essentially, we'll each take an individual quiz, but only the higher score will count. And in the case of a tie, the slower time will count. And so, good luck. And so that's when we realized, like, okay, like we have to potentially be a little bit more open with our partners. Danny, what's going through your mind when you hear this? And what's your strategy when you hear how this next quiz will work?
Okay. So this sounds ridiculous. I've been saying this since I got eliminated. I'm very much an intuitive person. And so when that twist was announced, I know in my gut, I'm out. Like, I don't know why. I just felt it. And Brienne felt it as well, because I started stressing out when we had to start strategizing of what are we going to do on this quiz. But I don't know why. Like, I just felt it in my gut. I was like, I am really bad at like splitting my quiz a specific way. I like going in just like going on vibes. I like just like, unless I'm like going all in on somebody, I like going in like just feeling the vibe of like, oh, I haven't put an answer in this person in a while. Let me boop, click that. Oh, like that person hasn't got an answer. Boop. So when I had to actually lock in on a strategy, I knew it was over. But pretty much our strategy was I was going to go split on two people. Brienne was going to go split on two people. And good luck. Like, that was kind of, so we decided on the two people we were each going to split on. And I had to make it very clear to Brienne and vice versa. We both had to make it very clear to each other that neither of us are the mole. Like, we were both suspecting each other at this point, obviously. So it had to be very much like, look, Brienne, I am not the mole. Do not be putting answers on me, because we will go home if you do. You cannot trust that I'm the mole, in that like we are like going to survive this round just because I'm the mole. That's not happening. So we have to lock in.
Brian, what was your thoughts going through as you hear this twist and hash out with Danny your strategy?
It was, not what I wanted. I was like, I should have expected it, but didn't. So didn't have like a lot of time to mentally like pivot. And like Danny was saying, like we had like, I think like a full 10 minutes in one of the rooms. Danny, you were freaking out. I was trying to be strong for you because you're freaking out so bad. I'm like, it's okay. So, I mean, it was just taking another person out of who I'm splitting. So splitting on less people. And I knew, I also felt in my gut, I'm like, I don't think I'm winning this quiz for us. So I was just hoping for the best that she could.
So I'm curious. So you came down like the split on two people each. Were you tempted to split on like three people each or four people each to cover entire cast?
I think we were thinking about splitting on three, and how we did, I think we might have lasted. But it really came down to, what if everybody else is doing the same thing? Let's take the risk and let's just do a little bit more questions on people. So
yeah, I think I was close to throwing in another person, but also the trouble was I didn't have enough time to think and be like, what are answers on someone else I even want to split on? I guess I could have just like just knew who it was, what the answer wasn't for someone I was splitting on. I should have done it that way. But yeah, I mean, I think I also felt that there was so much sus on us. So again, another saving grace could have been that people just going so hard on us could have saved us.
Mm-hmm.
But
so how honest were the two of you being with each other about your suspicions and who you suspected? Or were you trying to still keep information back at this point? Because I've heard a variety of things from a variety of teams. I think Luke and Joe, from my understanding, were much more upfront with each other versus Lachey and maybe a little bit more cagey.
You want to go, Danny?
Yeah, I want to say that, like, in that moment in the room, I had to fully trust Brienne. It wasn't a matter of like, at least for me, of like, oh, like, do I trust her, do I not? Like, I had to trust her. Like, she was my partner, and we had to do the quiz together, essentially. So I think, honestly, if we survived that round, me and Brienne, we're going to play this game together. Like, it really became that serious. So it was interesting. I think it was probably for the best that we left, because I don't think that the other duos really aligned as strong as we did.
No, I don't think. I don't feel that way, at least going to the next episode, that you're going to see those pairs persist like that.
Yeah, I completely agree. I was 100% honest. I knew she was being honest. And yeah, like looking ahead, I was like, if we survive, we can work together really well.
Yeah, because we both realized that we were like the top two suspects in the game. So it was like, okay, it only benefits us to work together because then everybody's just going to be leaving.
And we could have both kept on playing that. I think that would have been so easy for both of us to keep on playing.
Right.
Danny, even though you're working with Brienne, even though like you can't put any, you shouldn't put any answers on her because you're paired together. What % chance do you think that she could have been the mole? Were you saying like 5%, 20%? Like, are you just like writing her off because of how this round is going?
I think I was at a 50 after the date and then a 0 going into the quiz. So yeah, it really plummeted the second that we went in the room together and we both admitted to each other that we're suspecting each other. And then when I told Brienne, like, there's people suspecting you, like people are really on you. Like she was like, hey, can you keep it that way? Like make sure that stays that way. That was when I was like, okay, it's not Brienne. Like I just like felt that she was being truthful in that moment of like, let's keep the suspicion on us. So yeah, going into the quiz, I knew that I was one of the 4 quizzes or whatever the breakdown is that would be counted and determine my fate in the game.
Brienne, same to you. What % chance do you think that Danny was the mole, or by the time you kind of get in the quiz, like Danny's definitely not the mole?
Before she answered, I was thinking 40% to 0% as well. Yeah, because it was the door was closed. It was only us in there, and we were both dead honest. So yeah, and I mean, if we had survived, I may have like had a little bit of a question mark. Like, did we get like did I get there because of the mole? But
yeah, honestly, that's a true point because honestly, there like were certain duos as if they have left, I would have been like, okay, Brienne's the mole because like.
So wait, what duo leaving makes you think Brienne's the mole?
Like if there was. Sorry.
Actually, don't answer that.
I was like, that's kind of. But, yeah, there are certain duos where like I know they were close. Like I know like the second to last duo, if they had left, I would have been like, holy shit, Brienne's the mole because I put so many answers on one or both of those people. So yeah, I think it was probably for the best that I left in that moment because I probably would have spiraled after that anyway.
Well, okay, and I won't spoil anything because I won't say any names, but like in the text after when Danny's given some updates when like I had left the house or whatever to start going home, she was spiraling and saying certain names. I think this is happening. I'm like, girl, no, like we would have been in the game if that was true. Like, calm
down. Brienne, in the moment, was sharing the postcards anything you were even considering, or you're just like that's so far from what you're thinking about at the moment? You're just thinking about survival.
Oh, at the moment, like a last ditch effort. Like, hi guys, I have postcards.
Well, with Danny, as like you're just laying everything on the table.
I had forgotten. Like, I had forgotten at that point. Really with the postcards, it was on the way to Miniature Goth. It was me and Aaron in the car. It was almost me and Erin. And I was going to consider sharing them with her. I'm in the car and Aaron's saying, I think you're the mole. So I'm like, Aaron, I'm not sharing postcards with you. Like, so it really, yeah, the opportunity just didn't really present itself. But if we had survived, yeah, probably because I was ready to like full on work with Danny.
There's one more wrinkle before we go into the quiz, and that is we have an option to jettison our team member and reshuffle and try to get someone else. And so how it worked is there was a door between 2 players. You the pick split or stay or whatever the cards were, and then you revealed to each other what you landed on. Your team, I think, is the second one to go up. What was the discussion? Or was it just like, yeah, we're saying no matter what? Or were either of you thinking, maybe I should split and try and mull again and try to get him with someone else? Or maybe if I don't think my partner's the mole, maybe I want to try the role of the mole.
to me, in the moment, I was ready to work with Danny, so I wanted to like stick with like, you know, that theme. I really thought Josh was gonna do it for the team. So I was like, why would I do it when I want to like, you know, have a good working relationship there. So
Yeah. I think if this twist happened and we didn't have time to discuss with each other, I probably would have been like, bye, Brienne. But because we had time to strategize, I was like, okay, everybody's got their own strategy going into this quiz. Maybe I could be the sabotage of, oh, like, let's mix it up and everybody doesn't know what they're doing going into the quiz. That's a way to put it. And that's a smart decision. But for me, I was like, why would I do that to myself as well? Like, I have a solid strategy with Brienne, and there is a chance that I could end up with Brienne again. So it's not really like rolling the dice of, will I end up with the mole this time? It was more like, why would I screw myself over?
Yeah, ultimately, no one chooses to split, which I think it was a surprise to me because I saw Josh and Emily going in the fourth team before Lachey, and I'm like, Lachey, I think he's going to do it. We should do it too. Lachey's like, no, don't you dare. So no one splits. We take the quiz. We get the results. And your team is eliminated, to great surprise to all of us, because I know at the very least I think a lot of eyes were on you, Brienne. I think all eyes were definitely on you, Danny. So it was a stunning moment to see both of you walk out of the game like that. Now, I will say, I think you all had a lot of fun that night.
Yes. Honestly, wait, can we just talk about that? Because that was my favorite moment of the game, and it wasn't in the game. Me, Brienne, and Riley had a great time that night.
I was up till 5 a.m.
Yeah. Josh's confession in the preview of I didn't sleep last night. These are the reasons why he didn't sleep last night.
It was. Sorry, Josh. But had fun. Had a great time. Lachey was there too.
Yeah, so you guys, it was the color game, right? Was that what the game was called?
We played the color game. We played a lot of spoons, and then spades. I think we played too. But yeah, a lot of spoons.
No, it was a great time.
Yeah, I was watching. I'm like, oh, I want to join in, but I need to study. But I want to join in. I was just like,
you were the smart one for that, but yeah, it didn't matter to us. So
yeah,
that was a good time.
And apparently there was like one epic move. Was that you, Brienne? Where you want to like? I heard there was some epic game-winning move that happened at some point in that color game.
Oh, I don't remember. Yeah,
we
were also. Well, Steven, you may not know, we were doing the postcards then too. So
yeah, that's true. I remember.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I remember being infuriated with Brienne internally because she was not sharing the postcards during the game, but wanted to share them after the game. And meanwhile, obviously, I don't know about the planted postcards. I'm thinking these are legit clues. So I think there was a point where Brienne left the room to get something, and Riley and I are looking at each other like, what the fuck? Like, why did she do this before? Like, why would she show me on this? Like, this is crazy. So yeah, I think I was like internally like enraged by that until like final 5 when we finally find out the eliminated players find out that these are not prod made postcards. Let it go.
Yeah, I think we had just found one that night. So we grabbed it and we were up so late and like took a picture. We put it back to where it was so someone could get it, but we had grabbed it. And I think it had something to do with a wreath. So we're running around inside and outside the house, like looking for wreaths. And if it was part of the game, what the heck were we going to do?
We just wanted to know. We were just
So, Danny, looking back on your experience, what is your takeaway from the game, the gameplay? It could be your favorite thing, or it could be like the things you want to do in the future when you play the mole, etc.
Yeah, I think I played to the best of my ability of what I guess I could have done. I don't really like. I have no like regrets. I guess. I think the only thing was like, oh, like maybe we should have just did our own quizzes. Maybe we should have just been like, good luck, babe. Do your thing. Do what you would usually do, and that's it. Or split half of the game that you split on half, you split on the other. We probably should have included more people. That's really all I can think of. But looking at those quiz scores, not to spoil, like anybody really knew what was happening. And that's not really a spoiler because you see the top two suspects are right here. So obviously the quiz scores were pretty rough that round anyway. So maybe like things wouldn't have changed. Who knows? But I think going into another game, I don't know. Like I think the main thing was, I guess, sabotaging even when it doesn't benefit me. Like, is there a rhyme or reason to that? Like, I understand why Josh does it. Like, it really does throw people off. It's so obvious, but like, why write him off when he's the one sabotaging? There's a different strategies that you can go into a mole game. So I don't think I would go in doing the same game as I did this time. Would I be more flashy or would it be more reserved? That's the question. But yeah, I had a great time.
Brian, same question to you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have too many regrets either. And yeah, like Danny said, I think on our last quiz, it was just, I think we were going more off like emotion and gut feelings than strategy when you have two people taking it. So that's the only thing. I mean, but that was just, I don't know, just couldn't think it through quick enough. Yeah, going into other games, I mean, I just think it's like, it's just really cool how we like all of us are into this stuff, but you never know what you're going to get out of someone and what they're going to get out of you. So I just kind of like, you know, like feeding off of other people's energy and then just see like where I can fit in. If I'm going to like go loud or go quiet or go whatever, just kind of like, I don't know.
Watching back these episodes, any favorite moments or things that surprised you the most seeing everyone else's games?
It's a blur. I mean, I had a great time. You know, like I don't know. It was so much fun. Everyone's so cool. I just really enjoyed myself.
Yeah, I mean, like again, my favorite part was post game, which I never thought I would say as somebody that doesn't play a lot of live games. I'm always somebody that's like, if I'm eliminated early, I'm out. I'm leaving early. Why are people staying? Now I understand why people stay, because it's really like you make friends immediately. You want to bond with the people that are eliminated, especially in a mole game. You're like scheming the whole time until the mole is revealed. So it's kind of a separate game on its own. You're kind of like, I don't know, it's hard to explain unless you're there. So yeah, I think getting eliminated was my favorite part in the retrospect. Again, but it was a good time.
Brian, Danny, is there anything else you want to say about your experience in the Mole Ohio that we haven't had a chance to dig into?
Yeah, just totally impressed with Tim and the rest of Prod and like how they put it on. And yeah, I wish I stayed longer. I was just a little stressed out. I'm like, I gotta get home and like work on Monday or whatever. But yeah, I mean, no, it was just like really cool how it's like it is an individual game and you play that way, but everyone is there for each other at the same time. It's a weird thing to explain, you know?
Yeah, I love a mole format because really at the end of the day, the only person you can blame when you get eliminated is yourself. Like it is based on your quiz, it's based on your intuitions, your answers. So you can blame anybody else all you want, but it's your quiz at the end of the day. So I love that. It makes it very easy to bond with people after the game. There's no grudges. You're kind of just like, yep, I did my thing and I lost, but you did your thing and you did great. So good for you. So yeah, it's easy to talk about the game afterwards, and it's easy to bond with people afterwards. So love that, and love this cast, and love the Pro team. So there's that.
The next episode, episode 5, drops on Thursday. Can you give any high spoiler-free like teasers for what maybe a viewer can expect in the next episode?
I will say, is this a spoiler? I don't know, but I will say the person that gets eliminated was one of the people I went super in on. So take that as you will.
Yeah, I feel like I was there for a little bit of it, but then I skedaddled. So I'm really excited to watch it as a viewer at this point. I mean, we were in like a group chat, like Danny and other people were like updating me on certain things, but like I'm super excited.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. And you know, Danny, you said you love the mole because it's all on you. Get excited because this next episode there is voting, and someone may be voted off, and we'll see what that ends up looking like. But Danny Brandt, thank you so much for taking the time tonight for talking about your game. It was a blast playing with you both. I'm really glad I got the chance to meet you and hang out with you all.
You, Steven. Thanks so much.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. This has been another episode of the Live Reality Game Podcast. The Mole Ohio episode 5 drops this Thursday, and then next week I'll be back with the limited player. And if I'm eliminated, I'll have someone help me out with the interview because I can't talk to myself for an hour. Thank you all, and have a great rest of your evening.
Bye.